For single path sweeps, this can be done on either a closed or open path or curve. So let's start with an open curve just to practice sweeping. I'm going to do a sketch in the OXY, or the top view plane. And I'll just draw a simple NURBS curve with a few points. Just a little S shape here. And I'm just going to move that to the side a little bit. For my profiles, I'm going to draw 3 profiles, but I'm going to start with the first one with a symmetrical vertical curve plane. And I'll just do a 6-point curve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So nice little squared off shank. We can scale that to size by clicking on it using the scale tool. And we will turn off proportional, and let's make this 4 by 3. Okay, for my other 2 profiles, I'm going to just copy and then change this one. So highlight the object, click on move, just bring it straight down below the other one, keep original, and validate. Same thing for the third one, move it down a bit, keep original, validate. So make some changes here. I'll go ahead and bring that in and just make kind of a bumpy top like that for this one. And then for the third one, I'll do something with more of a half round look to it. Just so we have 3 different profiles to practice with. Now that all of our sketching is done for now, we'll exit the current editor and we're ready to sweep. So if you launch sweep with nothing selected, we'll have to plug in the boxes, tell it what to sweep. So first I'll choose a metal, if it's not already on there. And then we'll select how many paths we need. We're doing a 1 path, so we'll leave it like that, and then choose the hand for the first path and click on our path, our curve. Switch to the sections tab, and we're going to do 3 sections. So if we want, we can go ahead and click the plus a couple of times. We have 3 sets of boxes. In each set, the first box is for the section, the second box is for the control point or the location on the path. So if we click the hand for the first section, we'll use the square, it automatically places it at the 0 point or the start of the curve. If you want to move it to a different point, just highlight the second hand and choose a different point. So now it's on the point number 4. For the second path, we'll click the curve using a different section, and then the location has to be chosen for the second one. I'm going to place it right in the middle point, number 2. And then finally for the third one, first hand is to choose the third profile or section, and then finally the position. I'll place it at the other end. So this sweep is going to warp from the square to the bumpy shape to the round shape. Okay. If you use profiles that don't match as far as number of points and direction of curve and stuff like that, you can turn hinting of sections off. They should blend pretty nicely, but it doesn't hurt. Even with perfect curves lined up like that, you can do hinting of sections, which is going to realign your curves and make sure they all have the same number of points. It's going to set your default to 50 points, which gives you a nice smooth blend between them. When you're doing a single path sweep, especially on an open curve like this, if we hit precise, it's going to add a lot more profiles and it's going to make your shape more precise to that curve. So always use that with single path sweeps. And then on to the third tab, we can check our rotation and alignment. Our rotation is fine. Everything is pointing up and down like we want it to. You can align the sweep on top of the curve. In this case, it's going to the bottom because of the direction of my curve, or the bottom of the curve. It really just depends if you drew it top to bottom or bottom to top. And usually on a single path, I want it to sweep down the middle like a pipe, so we'll just leave it alone. You can also go to the left or the right side of the curve, depending on the direction. Again, we'll leave that in the middle for this one. And that's it. We validate and we get our nice sweep where it's transforming between the shapes as it goes along the path. So let's talk about a closed path sweep. What you use this a lot for is for sweeping shanks. Since I'm doing a ring, I like to place that in the OXZ plane, so the front view plane. Select that and sketch, and we'll just use a basic ring. and choose a size, doesn't matter for this practice, and validate, and then exit right back out of the sketch to the solids. And now we're all set up for our closed sweep. If you'd like, instead of starting the sweep tool with nothing plugged in, you can highlight the ring or the path and then launch sweep. It's going to go ahead and fill in your first tab for you with the paths. So that's already selected. Move right on to sections. Again, I'm going to do multiple sections. Let's start with the first one. I want to start with my 0 point so I don't have to move it. And let's say I want the bumpy shape up there. So we'll start there. Add another section. First curve, I want it to be round at the side point here on the number 4. Do another one. This one will also be round on the opposite side to keep it symmetrical. And then for the bottom, we'll use the square shape. I'm going to go ahead and add another section and choose the curve, then choose the location. I don't have a point in the very middle like I do with the 0 point, so I'm going to put it on the number 7. Just going to make it a little lopsided, so we'll go ahead and add one more section. Again, repeating the square, this time in the opposite number 8 point. So you can choose how you line these up. It's going to go bumpy shape to the round shape into the square shape and then back around symmetrically by adding all those. We have hinting of sections turned on, which is good. And because I'm doing a single path, I like to use precise, which is going to increment my number of profiles to make it nice and smooth. Finally, the third tab, when you're doing a closed sweep like this, very important that you check that third tab. For one, my profiles are upside down, again, depending on how they were drawn. So I'm going to go ahead under Effect and rotate them 180 degrees. And then always important, your alignment. If we keep it in the middle like this, that finger size that we created is not going to be accurate anymore. It's going to be now much smaller. So typically, if you draw it in the front view plane, change the vertical alignment to top, which places it on the outside of the curve. And now we validate, we get our nice shank with the variations in profiles. So from the bumpy top to the round side into the square bottom. So that's it for one path sweep. We'll see you back for the next part of sweeping, which will be a 2-path sweep.